Hey guys, hold on, you'll be able to see me momentarily. Hi everybody, happy Friday. I am here working from home today, although I look like I'm dressed like I would have gone to work, although I don't wear shorts to work, but yeah. It's nice out. It's actually not super hot, but it is fairly nice and sunny out today, and I wanted to come out and make a video. So, thank God today is Friday. It's been a week, guys. It's been a week of chaos and yeah, it's been crazy, Monroe. So I wanted to come on and make a video, come say hello to my friends, check in with everybody, and also chat about something that I think is super important. And based on the title, you will already know. And that is artists trying to get away with something. This is like a big pet peeve with me. And by the way, Monroe is wearing, let's see, what are you wearing? She's wearing this cute little Next sleeper. It's part of the watercolor animals grouping. It has like 3 little animals on it, and then it says on the up here on the neck it says little keepsake. You are just so cute. You are just the sweetest baby. Oh my goodness. Okay, so she's got this little sleeper on because I haven't really done a whole lot with her this week, as you would guess, because I am busy working all week. And honestly, I haven't felt the greatest most of the week because I've had this weird toothache, weird situation going on. I believe the only person I've actually shared this with is Diana, who recently went through having like an abscess and a whole craziness with her tooth. So I know she could tell Diana everything. But I've been ailing with that because if anybody's ever had tooth pain, you know it's one of those pains that you can never get rid of. It really, honestly, it's just, when it happens, it's the worst for me. I have been through the ringer with my teeth. I've had a lot of dental work done over the years. I've had braces. I've had a lot of, not a lot, but I've had a couple of root canals. I had to have root canal retreatment. So I've had a lot of issues with my teeth to try to keep them healthy and nice. So I'm not a fan of the dentists, but I had to go this week because this was bothering me, and I didn't want to get it too far into the weekend. So it had started bothering me on Sunday and just kind of grew from there, and wanted to make sure, one, it wasn't an abscess. So I went to the dentist on, is it Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. I finally went on Wednesday. They saw me right away and said it's definitely not an abscess. It's probably some sort of irritation to my gums, which is kind of what I thought it was, but I just wanted to make sure because you know how it is if you let something go and then you come to the end of the week. What happens usually if you don't see somebody by the weekend, it's like you can't get in to see anybody because they're all closed, and then you feel awful all weekend, or you go to the emergency room, but really the emergency room doesn't do a whole lot for you in terms of teeth, unfortunately, because they're not dentists. So they usually just send you home with like drugs. It just is what it is. So I just was trying to, head that off at the pass, and it's been very slowly getting better. So today it feels quite a bit better than it did on even than yesterday. So I'm hoping it's subsiding. They said it could take up to 2 weeks. Gave me some prescription mouthwash to kind of keep, like, it's an antiseptic that's like stronger than something you get over the counter. So I'm feeling better today. Thank goodness, because it literally just sucks the life out of me when I'm in pain in my mouth. I just can't deal with it. I just can't. So anyways, sorry, overshare probably for most of you, could probably care less to hear about my tooth woes, but I'm very happy to be feeling better. But why I came on is, honestly, there's things that kind of happen in our doll community that we talk about. Certain pages will talk about this. I know that Facebook groups will talk about this. Some are afraid to talk about this, I've noticed. And it's about artists sending shoddy work or sending boo-boo work to a collector and trying to pass it off as top quality, perfectly done, no issues baby doll, okay? And when I'm talking, I'm going to use silicone as my example, because this is what sparked this, is a friend of mine was actually sharing her experience with me. And this has happened to me in the past before as well. So I'm not afraid to talk about it. I have come up against some well-known artists, both reborn and silicone, who have done some not so great work and tried to pass it off as perfectly fine. And I just don't think that's okay. We spend our hard-earned money, and I'm talking thousands of dollars for work that comes, and then we find that it's very flawed. And not to the point where it's even somewhat even fixable sometimes. Like, it's just, with silicone dolls, there are limits to what can be fixed on a doll. So you know that if you're the first owner, the doll came directly from the artist. You know that they've looked the doll over, they're aware of these boo-boos before they sent this doll out, which is crazy to me that they would even try to pass it off as a non-boo-boo doll, especially a high-end silicone. So it's baffling to me that artists still try to do this in this day and age, knowing how social media platforms can ruin, they can make or break their reputations. And if you're doing something that's going to deem you as a shady artist or someone trying to pull something off, I don't know why you'd want to. It's baffling to me, and it's disturbing. I mean, unless artists really aren't checking their work, but aren't they? Right? I mean, isn't that what an artist, if I were an artist and I had just completed a doll, this is me, I would literally thoroughly check over the doll to make sure there's no issues that I need to fix before I send the doll out to this new mommy. Why would I want to create controversy? Why would I want to have an upset customer? That's the way I think, and I'm so careful even inspecting her on a regular basis just in my own presence after I've handled her, because I just want to make sure she's okay, because things can happen. But when an artist simply sends a doll carelessly with known boo-boos, there's no way the artist couldn't know. Based on the situation I'm talking about, there's no way she would not have known. I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. It puts us collectors in a very bad spot, because we're sitting here feeling torn. Like my friend, she's torn. She wants her money back, but the artist says, let me fix the doll. Well, guess what? Maybe at that point you've kind of ruined it, and maybe they don't want the doll anymore because, well, geez, it should have been right for the first time it showed up in your hands. Like, you get only one chance to make a good impression of your work as an artist, and, you know, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're sending shoddy work. It's just, that is how I feel about it. I get really kind of riled up about it, because it's artists taking advantage of us. They take advantage of us because they know they're well known and that most of us won't speak up, and they're hoping that they'll pull one over and the collector won't notice. Well, guess what? We notice. Gosh, I wish artists would be more careful about the work that they send. And I'm not saying a lot of artists do this, but there's a handful that I've experienced. So I know out there that there is a good number of artists, especially with like newer artists, pet peeve also, newer artists that are newer to the art form and being an artist themselves. They need to make sure they advertise that. I think it's important to know when you're a newer artist, because there are different expectations and levels of expectations when you're selling your artwork. And that happens from reborn straight through. And some artists, they blossom very quickly and they become very well known because they are very gifted, very talented. It comes easy to them. I think it's just talent-wise. It's like with sports. Some of us are better at some things than others, and vice versa, you know. And I think with artists, that's been the case. I've seen some artists that I've known that have done reborning. They've created dolls reborning from the early back when I was first starting to collect. So this is like 20 years ago, that I have followed through the years, and I've seen them not really progress very much. They haven't grown in their craft. They don't look like they've become very experienced over the years, and I wouldn't buy from them. And that's not me being mean. It's me noticing the difference that then you have some of these current, newer reborn artists that have just grown immensely because their art has matured. It's gotten better. It's improved over the, a short time frame. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in the reborn world. It doesn't matter how long you've been an artist necessarily. It's your talent level and what do you put into it to make yourself better, and how quickly you've maybe progressed. So I don't gauge an artist's quality based on the number of years they've been making dolls. Nope. Some maybe, but it's very clear to me that some just kind of don't, they just kind of do the same work and they always have. And then there are others who you can tell that they're always trying to better themselves. They're always looking for the newer, better techniques. Same with silicone. Some silicone artists that have been in this hobby, being an artist, creating dolls for a number of years, I haven't seen the growth from some that I would have thought I would. And then I see others who have skyrocketed. And then I see some that skyrocketed early on and kind of are starting to fall off because they're not keeping up with maybe some of the other artists with the newer techniques and things. So it's all varying. It's like a moving target, honestly. You know, artists and the work they put out is a moving target because you just don't know until you see them progress or not. I mean, if you follow artists, and there's so many out there, it's very hard to follow them all now. So it makes it hard to really know. But if you are a collector, whether you're new, you've been around a little bit, or you've been around for years, if you receive a doll, and this is just me giving some advice. If you receive a doll that clearly has some boo-boos, do not be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to go back to the artist and say, this is not okay. You know, I've seen a good number of my friends now really have some really bad experiences, and they were afraid to bring it up because they really didn't, one, they didn't want to be looked at as being a difficult collector. And I get that because I've been in those shoes. Early on, I didn't want to be that collector that upset an artist so that they would speak badly about me. But if you have valid reasons, and the doll is clearly got some issues and you're not happy with it and you were promised, you know, and I'm not saying that everything is perfect on a doll, okay? I'm talking clear boo-boos, like paint coming off, missing hair, peeling. These are things that are not like, I'm just being picky. These are things that are clearly issues, whether it's reborn or silicone, peeling, missing paint, missing hair. It's just not acceptable when you've spent a lot of money, unless it's sold to you as a boo-boo. So if artists have done that in the past where they know that they don't want to sell it as like part of an edition or whatever, and they know that it's, you know, not their best work, they will sell them as a boo-boo doll. And they're very upfront about that. Hats off to those artists that do that, because you know what? That is perfectly fine. And then you're allowing the collector to make an educated decision that they know they're not getting your best work. It could have some flaws, but they're not paying full price for it. So that's very different. You know, you're aware of it. But an artist sending you a boo-boo doll that you paid full price for, not okay. Not okay. And we do need to speak up. As collectors, we need to be strong about speaking up when we get things that are not okay. So, I mean, there's a fine line between just being picky and pointing out that there's a real problem. And I think that you have to be careful because, you know, there's not a perfect doll. Like, I looking over Monroe, I tell you, to me, she's perfect. But I can tell you that because she's silicone, there are potential maybe small rough spots or a little, you know, bump on the silicone or, you know, who knows, it could be anything like that. That is part of having a one-of-a-kind silicone doll. It's not a factory-made item. But as far as like her paint is perfect. She has no boo-boo. She doesn't have rips, tears. She doesn't have peeling matting. She doesn't have missing paint or peeling paint. Her hair is phenomenal. It doesn't fall out. She didn't come with missing patches of hair. Like, these are obvious things, you know. So as collectors, we need to be careful not to be that picky collector that just picks apart a doll because you may not like it. Very different. I'm talking about when you receive a doll that has clearly got a boo-boo that came directly from the artist. And I'm not talking second-hand market at all. The secondary market is a whole nother thing that we can talk about in another video, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about work that comes directly from the artist and knowing when there's a problem and when you should speak up and be able to get a refund. And I think it's important for us as collectors to kind of stand our ground on these things. I don't want to be, you know, pushed over, so to speak. I feel bulldozed, and I have from a handful of collectors over the years, and I will never allow myself to be that. I am not afraid to speak up about it. I might not be popular for speaking up about things that go wrong, but I think it's important. It's more important for me to inform the community around me when things go wrong so that they can avoid having the same problem. I would feel awful if I didn't share my experience and someone goes through the exact same thing as I just went through and I just didn't say something. So for me, it's important, more important to be honest, forthcoming when I see things happening. In this particular case, it did not happen to me, but it has happened to me in the past. Multiple times before I ever had a channel to talk about it. I never had a platform to really share it, but I did share it on forums. Like Dolphin Forum was a big one that I would share, you know, if things weren't right. And 9 times out of 10, there was another story that, or more of other collectors that the same thing happened to. And then you go, oh, this is a repeat offender, you know, this is common for this artist. And then you learn to, you know, steer clear of those artists. And sadly, there are those that you just never want to do business with, period. Because they're not good at customer service or producing like a good quality product. So you just kind of got to be careful and do your homework. That's why I miss having the forum really like it used to be, because, you know, we have Facebook, but there's so many different groups that it's really kind of hard to pick which one you're going to find the best information on, honestly. I don't know. It's tough. It is definitely tough. It's tough, Monroe. Hi, sweet girl. So that's my rant for the day, you guys. I'm really just sad for my friend that she even has to deal with this. We're sad, aren't we, Monroe? Look at this baby, you guys. Let me see. She says, hi, everybody. I am very tired. So I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Hopefully you're almost done with your work day. It's been quiet with my work today, which is why I thought I'd come on and make a video, because it's pretty quiet. So I thought it was a good time to just come on and share. You are just too cute. You really are. Yes, you are. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great start to your weekend. I will be back on doing some more videos this weekend, I'm sure of it. And I don't know what topics I will chat about, but I've got a ton of topics that I'd love to talk with you guys about, but I often don't want to like make everything about chat topics either, because I don't know whether people want to hear them or if you're sick of hearing them. I don't know. It's often very hard to gauge who wants what in videos, but yeah. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for me. You are just such a cute little baby. I'm so glad I have the weekend coming up in front of me so I can enjoy her, and we got some events to go to this weekend, so you guys will definitely see us. But that's pretty much it for us now, guys. I hope you enjoy your evening, and we will see you all soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.